Who starts this? Yeah.
So, I'm going to ask you a question to lay the ground, to create the ground on which the edifice of the discussion can be built. And the question is, there are only three factors: space, time, and matter. We will hear from Panditji what the Buddhist view on this is. We also know that the scientists are investigating this very deeply. We would like to know from you how you relate these three elements outside in the environment and in the inner environment of man.
And you स्टेट दी बुक जो आप अभी कह रहे थे सर जैसे वी हैड talked about just a little.
बुद्ध प्रारंभ होते हैं मनुष्य की समस्या से.
Buddha begins with the human problem.
What?
Buddha begins with the human problem.
देश, काल, टाइम, स्पेस और मैटर ये मनुष्य के साधन हैं. इसलिए साधन के रूप में हम विचार कर सकते हैं. इन तीन पर साध्य के रूप में विचार नहीं कर सकते.
Space, time and matter.
What?
Space, time and matter are therefore for the Buddha the media through which man expresses himself. Therefore they don't begin there, they are not ends in themselves. It is because man operates through these, therefore they have significance, they acquire significance.
इन सब के बीच में मनुष्य ही प्रधान है और वही समस्या है. टाइम, स्पेस और मैटर का वो किस प्रकार से प्रयोग करता है, किस चीज के लिए प्रयोग करता है, यह प्रश्न है.
The problem therefore, the question is that man is the principal factor and how he operates in space, in time and through matter is, or how he operates with matter, they acquire meaning because man is using them as means. But if they become ends in themselves, then man will lose himself.
I don't quite understand this.
If I may make it clear, Panditji is questioning my question. I started by asking the relationship between time, space and matter. To Panditji says that for the Buddha that was not a real question. The reality was man. And these were just the instruments which man used and misusing them created problems. But they were not the essential problem of man. To which I would reply that I have taken the discussion from the hundreds of discussions we have had previously. Because if we go back to all the previous discussions we have had, we could never ask this question. I'm asking this question after having discussed with Krishnaji over the years. And it seems to me that time is an essential element in dissolving the conditioning which blocks man in his pursuit for liberation.
I really don't understand what you are talking about, sir. Not that you are not, I'm not familiar with your terms or with your things, but I don't quite understand what you're talking about. It's maybe my ignorance, maybe my stupidity, but I don't understand.
So you mean to say you have no response to this problem of the relationship between space, time and matter?
Everything exists in space. It must have space. Like a tree must have space to grow fully. Right? Must have space. And the nourishment it derives from the earth, from water and so on. So what's the next question?
The breaking of the bondage.
Breaking?
Of the bondage which holds the mind of man.
Now you are talking something else.
No, it's very connected, Krishnaji.
Would you kindly be simple with me? I'm a simple person. Would you kindly state your things simply? Then perhaps I would understand, perhaps the others may understand.
I will ask it another question. You spoke of time as the past and the future being contained in the now, yesterday.
It's a movement. Yes, it's a movement.
Then you touched on another time altogether. I am trying to get to that other time which you are talking about. I use this as a question to probe into it. Leave aside all that.
Panditji, sir, would you? Panditji, I'm lost.
Sir, as I understand, she asked a question about time, space and matter. Actually, there are two types of time, two types of space, and matter also. There is a subtle and a gross. Now, actually what we are not dealing with the grosser part of it at all. When we talk of space, the space between you and me, sir, is not the distance of so many feet. But that space is a psychological space. Similarly, matter also is not merely chronological, but it is psychological. And
matter. What do you mean by I think I'm lost.
And matter, time is also psychological. And matter, in the Buddhist terminology, we use the word tanmatra. That means dharma. That means the psychological quality inherent to the materiality.
In other words, thought.
In other words, thought.
Is that what you are trying to say?
I don't
मैं तो
know whether Panditji will agree that dharma means psychological quality inhering to matter.
No.
But thought is matter, you would agree?
No, I yesterday had a talk with him about dharma. There are two definitions of dharma.
Dharma.
Dharma. The
Matter.
Buddhist definition of dharma is that which is the quintessential character of inhering in a particular substance. If you eliminate it, that substance cannot be called by that name. So, dharma is the inherent suchness of that particular object, of matter. So, you have to see that both time, space and matter are not dealt with in the sense in which the scientist approaches it from matter into something else. But we are approaching it the other way about, and we are saying that psychologically these are the factors operating.
So would you agree that matter is solidified energy? No, just wait,
No, sir, this is very important because the gentleman I found is wavering on this point.
What?
He is wavering on this point.
He does not accept this so
He is
easily.
wavering on. Yesterday I found he is wavering on this point. So better have it clear.
Look, sir, what are we talking about? Just let me see. We are talking about time, thought, and space. Would you agree to that? Time, thought, space, and matter. Is that, why do you bring in matter?
Matter is that which is manifest. You see,
Is that, do we agree to that?
ये तो ये
उसमें हम कुछ नहीं कर सकते।
नहीं,
नहीं
नहीं, वो तो विज्ञान का क्षेत्र है। भूकंप आ जाए और हम लोग एक विशेष स्थिति में हो जाए तो हम क्या करेंगे उस समय, ये तो मैटर का सवाल है।
नहीं।
अब हम भूकंप को रोकने के लिए हम तैयार नहीं हैं। भूकंप हो गया, उसके बाद हमको क्या करना है, यह प्रश्न है।
नहीं, पर सवाल ये है
हाँ,
कि मैटर आप हर की चीज को समझते हैं, बट मैटर ये भी, शरीर भी मैटर है,
जी 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 जी, तो
विचार भी मैटर है।
जी
या आप एक्सेप्ट करेंगे कि विचार मैटर है?
जी, विचार मैटर नहीं होता।
This is, he would say that thought is not is not matter.
Actually, thought is matter.
No,
Now,
that-
let's go at it.
Sir, I say that unless you have a body, unless I have a body, I cannot have my senses. The five senses come into existence because I have a body, and because I have the senses, I have thought. Therefore, thought comes into existence by the sensations that are carried to the brain by the five senses.
कृष्ण को समझने के लिए एक तरह से उसे कहा जा सकता है कि विचार भी मैटर है।
जोर से
विचार भी एक दूसरे तरह से मैटर कहा जा सकता है। अगर जैसा कि पहले कहा, धर्म का यह लक्षण है, उसकी यह परिभाषा है कि जो दूसरे से अपने को अलग करे और अपने को एग्जिस्ट करे। ये जो विचार है, ये चित्त का काम है। मन चित्त का यह काम है। यह भी धर्म है, यह भी दूसरे से अलग है और अपने में है। अगर इस तरह का मैटर का अर्थ अगर करना है तो विचार भी मैटर हो सकता है, लेकिन जब हम इसको मैटर कहते हैं, इसको मैटर कहते हैं, अपने शरीर को मैटर कहते हैं, उस अर्थ में विचार मैटर नहीं हो सकता।
दादाजी
He says that thought is not matter in the ordinary sense of the term. In the ordinary sense of the term, this is matter, the microphone is matter, and so on. But thought may be regarded as matter in a special sense, because thought is what characterizes the mind, and that which characterizes anything is its distinguishing quality. It distinguishes it from everything else. What distinguishes the mind from everything else is thought. From that point of view, thought can be said to be matter.
और जितने विचार उठते हैं, सब विचार इस अर्थ में मैटर हो सकते हैं कि एक विचार दूसरे विचार से अत्यंत भिन्न है। अगर विचार करें तो कोई भी विचार का एक बिंदु दूसरे बिंदु से अत्यंत भिन्न है। अत्यंत भिन्न है इसलिए वह एग्जिस्ट करता है, एग्जिस्ट करता है इसलिए वह मैटर है।
Every thought is different from every other thought, and I'm just translating. And because it is different from every other thought, it has an existential quality which makes it into matter.
So
the question is, you asked the question, would you accept that all
that thought is
that
a
thought
material
is a material
process. That thought is a material process. Not whether one thought is different from another thought, and so
Thought
on.
arises from the memory in the brain.
Yes,
And
that's
therefore
what,
it is a material thing.
that's what I'm saying.
Memory is lodged in the brain.
No, translate that in Hindi.
ब्रेन में रिकॉर्ड होता होगा, मान लें, हम विज्ञान के आदमी नहीं हैं, मान लेते हैं कि ब्रेन में रिकॉर्ड हो रहा है, लेकिन ब्रेन और ज्ञान जिसमें सेंस है वो एक नहीं हो सकता। किसी ज्ञान का कोई मैटर किसी ज्ञान को पैदा करने में सहायक हो सकता है, खुद वह मैटर नहीं हो जाएगा। कोई मैटर किसी ज्ञान के पैदा करने में सहायता कर सकता है, लेकिन खुद वह मैटर नहीं हो जाएगा।
As I understand it, he says knowledge essentially is not matter. It can help create matter.
No.
To bring about knowledge.
What?
He says here
मैटर जो है पैदा
that there is a recording process in the brain, although he is not a scientist. But he says knowledge in essence is not matter, because the material process of the brain may assist the arising of knowledge, but it is not knowledge per se.
Now I would like to know what you mean by knowledge.
देखिए, पंचेंद्रियों से संवेदना ब्रेन में जब जाती है तभी वहाँ पर कुछ ज्ञान का उदय हो सकता है। इसलिए
पंचेंद्रिय में इंद्रिय और विषय दोनों मैटर है।
हाँ देखिए, वही
और
मैं
जब
कहता हूँ।
पैदा हो जाता है ज्ञान तो वो मैटर
नहीं
नहीं
मैं ये नहीं, जरा थोड़ा सुनिए कि पंचेंद्रिय और विषय, इनके संपर्क से जो संवेदना ब्रेन को मिलती है, उससे जो कुछ पैदा ब्रेन में होता है उसमें ज्ञान का उदय होता है। अगर ये कारण नहीं होगा तो वो कार्य नहीं होगा।
ठीक है, ये तो हम कह रहे हैं।
नहीं सुनिए, अगर ऐसा है तो बिना कारण के कार्य का संभव नहीं।
हाँ।
इसलिए ज्ञान जड़ की संतति है। I said, sir,
माता पिता से पुत्र पैदा होते हैं तो माता पिता नहीं है पुत्र।
let me translate. पहले समझा दूं।
जी।
I said that the five senses coming into contact with the sense object carry sensations to the brain, and then knowledge is born as the child of those sensations. Therefore, without the sensations there cannot be knowledge. Therefore, knowledge is a process subsidiary to materiality of the senses. Now, through that he is saying something.
लेकिन
Krishna ji is asking him, what is knowledge?
हाँ,
That's how they do it.
What do you mean by
ये
No.
जैसा अच्युत जी ने कहा कि कोई इंद्रिय है और कोई विषय है, उससे एक ज्ञान उत्पन्न हुआ, लेकिन इंद्रिय जड़ है और विषय जड़ है, ज्ञान जड़ नहीं है, चेतन है। एक तो यही फर्क हो गया। और कारण जब मर जाता है तब कार्य पैदा होता है। कारण कार्य को कुछ नहीं देता। ये दूसरी बात कह रहा हूं। कारण कार्य को कुछ नहीं देता। इसलिए यह कहना कि ज्ञान मैटर से पैदा होता है, यह जब हम कहते हैं तो इसका मतलब यह नहीं होता कि मैटेरियल कोई भी चीज ज्ञान में जाता है। ज्ञान तो भिन्न वस्तु है, लेकिन ज्ञान को पैदा होने के लिए मैटर जरूरी है, इंद्रियां जरूरी हैं, बस इतना ही। इसलिए कोई दोनों के बीच में ऐसा कोई संबंध नहीं है जिससे हम कह सकें कि यह ज्ञान थॉट जो है मैटर है, यह कह नहीं सकते।
ज्ञान से आपका तात्पर्य क्या है?
बस यही कि उससे एकदम भिन्न है। ये चेतन है, ये चेतन है, वो जड़ है। ये तो हमने बताया ना कि वो ये चेतन है, इसका स्वभाव भिन्न है और उसका स्वभाव भिन्न है।
आप थॉट और नॉलेज में कुछ फर्क करते हैं कि नहीं?
वो दूसरी बात, इसको पहले स्पष्ट हो जाए।
He says that the sense organ is material, the object of sense is material, but through contact of the object of sense with the sense organ, knowledge arises. That knowledge is not material because the instrument may be material, but the effect is not the same as the instrument. And therefore one cannot conclude that because the instruments are material, that the effect also is material. He says knowledge is different from matter because it belongs.
But where is the knowledge stored?
इसलिए कि
जरा उनका जवाब दीजिए।
हाँ।
अपनी बात
Where is knowledge
सुन
stored?
करके उसका जवाब
कहाँ है ये नॉलेज?
ये स्मरण में है।
Which is the brain. Therefore, knowledge is material. It's a process.
स्मृति तो वो मज्जापेशी हैं, मज्जापेशियों में स्मृति है। मज्जापेशी जल जाए तो स्मृति नहीं रह सकती। शरीर जब
नहीं वो जल जाए उससे क्या मतलब है?
नहीं,
हमको तो स्मृति से मतलब है।
हाँ, तो स्मृति
कोई मर जाए
नहीं,
तो हमको क्या लेना देना है?
स्मृति
आदमी ही मर जाता।
ना स्मृति शरीर का धर्म है, बिना शरीर के
चेतना का धर्म है।
But he is saying no, things which are contradictory, I think. Because
नहीं आप कहें, आप कहें वो तो हम उसको दूर करेंगे।
एक बात पंडित जी, कि आप उनका जवाब दीजिए।
हाँ वही तो
अपनी
जवाब।
बात फिर बाद में
मैंने कहा कि स्मृति जो है वह चेतना का है, स्मृति किसी मैटर का नहीं है।
he says memory is a quality of the mind.
Memory is
Achyutji was saying that if the brain dies, then there is no memory, so it's not a quality of the mind, but it belongs to matter.
I said memory is a product of the brain cells.
So, no. As far as I understand, what you might be totally wrong, subject to tremendous correction. Experience is simple. From experience there is knowledge. Without experience there is no knowledge. Agree? Then that knowledge is stored in the brain cells, and the brain cells are material process, so thought is a material process. That's all I am saying. Which is held in the brain cells of the brain. And memory is part of that cell, and thought is born from memory, otherwise there is no. That the whole process is time, the whole process is within certain space, limited and so on, and matter is this process, which is thought.
Is observation or perception without the word which you are talking about a sort of a knowledge?
No.
In your terminology it is not, but probably
Don't
it
use
is.
my terminology, I'm just using our English word. I had an experience, I was driving a car and I ran into another car. That's an experience, and I learned from that accident to be much more careful when I drive. That's my knowledge. Knowledge stored in the brain, so I'm watchful at time. And so I'm in that watchfulness, thought and all the rest of it. What's the problem? I don't see all.
No. But what would be valid to ask, out of perception?
I'm going off to perception.
No, because it was raised just now.
Before I go to perception, I'd like to know if Panditji agrees to it.
Exactly. I also want to fix him on this particular point.
अनुभव और निर्णय दो चीजें। यह लाउड स्पीकर है या निर्णय है या अनुभव नहीं है। अनुभव है निर्णय के पहले। यह लाउड स्पीकर है। कल लाउड स्पीकर उसको कहते हैं जब वो ध्वनि को कैच करता है और फैलाता है।
He says experience is different from conclusion. Different from conclusion.
माइंड जिसको कह रहे हैं, माइंड जिसको कह रहे हैं,
It is a microphone, it is a conclusion which is based on a previous scene of the microphone and so on. But experience is something which precedes that. Experience precedes the conclusion.
But if I may say, Krishnaji has not come to that point. He is asking that which is stored in the brain as memory, that is a material process.
That is
what I'm saying.
क्योंकि वो मज्जापेशियों में है।
मज्जापेशियों में कोई ज्ञान रह नहीं सकता, मज्जापेशियों से उत्पन्न होता है।
बिना मज्जापेशियों के उसको वहाँ रहने की जगह,
आदमी नहीं रहेगा तो कुछ नहीं रहेगा,
गर्भ नहीं रहेगा तो उसमें बच्चा
नहीं रहेगा। तो उससे क्या होता है, बच्चे से, गर्भ से बच्चा नहीं पैदा हो जाता। गर्भ होना चाहिए बच्चा के लिए, गर्भ होना चाहिए बच्चा के लिए,
हुआ
लेकिन गर्भ बच्चा नहीं है।
नहीं पंडित जी, सवाल ये है
जी,
मूल सवाल
जो
ये है,
कारण होता है वह आवश्यक होता है। आवश्यक होने से कार्य का से वह एक नहीं हो जाता, अलग हो जाता है, और बहुत अलग होता है। कारण जरूरी है, लेकिन कारण इतना ही जरूरी है जिससे वह पैदा हो। जब वह पैदा होगा तो कारण से का विरोधी होगा, कारण से भिन्न होगा, क्योंकि स्वभाव भेद है, अनुभव और नॉलेज में भेद है। नॉलेज ये है कि यह लाउड स्पीकर है, ये नॉलेज है, और अनुभव इसके पहले हो गया, कोई यह चीज है।
पंडित जी, आप कैसे कहते हैं कि अनुभव पहले है?
इसलिए कहते हैं कि नॉलेज के लिए कोई आधार चाहिए, मटेरियल चाहिए। नॉलेज के लिए कोई मटेरियल चाहिए, इसलिए कुछ इसको होना चाहिए। ये क्या है, ये नॉलेज बताएगा।
नहीं, बट एक्सपीरियंस के लिए भी आधार चाहिए।
नहीं, एक्सपीरियंस जो है वही आधार का होता है, और नॉलेज निराधार होता है। जो नॉलेज होता है वो निराधार होता है, और अनुभव साधार होता है। आधार पर अनुभव होता है, और बिना आधार के नॉलेज होता है, वो स्मरण से होता है।
Sir, I don't agree with you.
You see, he has drawn a distinction between knowledge and experience.
How can you? I don't understand.
I asked him, what makes you say that experience precedes knowledge?
What?
I asked him, what makes you say that experience precedes knowledge, is previous to knowledge? He says, experience precedes the fact of my naming it as. And I said, what makes you say that? To which he says, knowledge has to have a support. The support being a material thing.
एक्सपीरियंस के लिए मैटर चाहिए, बस नॉलेज के लिए मैटर नहीं चाहिए।
For experience you need matter. For experience you need matter.
Sir, why do you go? I have an accident in a car.
है
ये तो आपके मन का।
I'm driving a car. Don't call material and all the rest. There's an accident. My radiator is smashed to smithereens. And that's recorded. When I drive next time, I'm much more careful. That is, I've had an experience. From that experience, I've acquired knowledge. Right? Right?
Sir, I have understood what you are saying.
Then what is?
But he is not willing to accept. He says that the crashing of the radiator is experience. But knowledge that arises out of that is not material. That is what
No,
he is trying to say.
Where
But
is
I
it
am
stored?
not-
Where is it stored, that knowledge?
That he is not accepting that.
नहीं, देखिए वो कहाँ स्टोर होगा?
मज्जा पेशी।
मज्जा पेशी में तो होगा, मज्जा पेशी से बढ़ करके ये शरीर है,
हाँ, तो
तो वो
शरीर-
जिसमें मज्जा पेशी भी है और वो सब होगा।
Would you ask him from his book, you forget all Buddhism and focus it on Would I be insulting you, sir? He is the most respectful Panditji, but could you forget Buddhism for a minute?
और मैं
5
इतना
मिनट के
भी
लिए
And just talk to me as two human beings.
5 मिनट के लिए अपनी मान्यताएं।
Look, sir, Panditji, like a person like me, I've not read Buddhism, right? I've not read Christianity. I don't know a thing about all this, right? And as a human being, I see knowledge as a means of action. That action either perfectly carried out or not.
What is this action?
Wait, I'm not talking about action. I'm just saying my experience starts. Life is an experience. And from that experience, there is great deal of knowledge acquired. Like the scientists, they go on experimenting till they add to what already they know and keep on going. And all that memory, all that knowledge is stored in the brain. That's simple. That's all my point. And therefore, knowledge is part of the material process as thought. That's all. I may be wrong. Correct me. That's all I'm saying. Not as a Buddhist or a Christian or a Muslim, but forget all that. Let's talk about it.
ठीक है, दोनों मिला करके दोनों आप एक्सपीरियंस और नॉलेज दोनों मिला करके कर रहे हैं, और हम जो होता है, जो एक्चुअल होता है, वो मैं कह रहा हूँ, और आप उस चीज को दोनों को मिला करके एक कहना चाहते हैं।
पंडित जी,
तो उसमें कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, लेकिन हमारा वो दोनों रहना चाहिए उसके
पंडित जी,
अंदर,
मैं एक चीज,
कि उसमें नॉलेज भी है, एक्सपीरियंस भी
अच्छा,
है,
एक ही चीज
ये रहना चाहिए।
पंडित जी,
अनुभव और अनुभव की प्रतिक्रिया, अनुभव की प्रतिक्रिया अनुभव से अलग नहीं की जा सकती।
प्रतिक्रिया वो नहीं है,
नहीं, तो
वो तो दूसरी तरफ से आता है। एक जब आप एक आदमी पैदा हुआ है, उसको नॉलेज नहीं होती, एक्सपीरियंस होता है।
नहीं पंडित जी, मैं आपको एक
पैदा जब पहले से बहुत से एक्सपीरियंस हैं, तब नॉलेज पैदा होता है, और नहीं तो नॉलेज पैदा हो नहीं सकता। एक्सपीरियंस जो है मटेरियल है, मैटर उसमें जरूरी है।
Problem is in
Semantics.
translation. To translate
Semantics.
anubhav as experience, I think
Is not it?
हाँ,
Don't use Sanskrit words at all. Just talk simple.
No, I just want to ask one thing.
Sanskrit and Hindi have the same words.
No, I would like to ask. नहीं,
कि बुद्ध ने एक वृक्ष को देखा, एक रुग्ण को देखा, एक बुद्ध को देखा, ये अनुभव है।
अनुभव नहीं है,
ये जो उन्होंने
ये माइंड है।
नहीं देखिए, उन्होंने आंखों से देखा, उन्होंने
वो जो देखा,
देखिए आंखों से देखा,
उसको नहीं कहा कि वो रोगी है।
नहीं।
जो देखा वह रोगी नहीं
but
था। रोग तो वह था जो कि हजारों को उन्होंने देखा था, इसलिए वह रोगी था।
पंडित जी,
रोग कोई नहीं देख सकता। आंख से कोई रोग देखता है कि उसका ज्वर नाप सकता है और कुछ कर सकता है। रुग्ण कोई चीज नहीं है, रुग्ण तो स्मृति शक्ति है।
No, no, no.
रुग्ण तो रुग्णता जो है, अस्वास्थ्य जो है, वो तो स्मरण है।
He's saying disease is a word.
No, I am saying he sees an old man. He sees a sick man. He sees a dead body.
Who says?
The Buddha we are
But I
talking.
shall, don't let us talk about
No,
that.
sir, no, sir. I am just giving an example how knowledge cannot be separated from experience.
Now, I want to ask Panditji one question. If experience and knowledge are two separate things,
That is what you want.
then it is possible to divide them and only experience. Is it possible to only
Possible.
experience?
Is it possible?
What?
If knowledge and
I've got it.
are two separate things, then it must be possible to experience without knowledge. Is it possible?
Wait. Huh? Yes.
Possible. This is very possible.
Hold your breath.
ये अनुभव बिना नॉलेज का हो सकता है,
We are going.
नॉलेज बिना अनुभव के नहीं हो सकता।
He says there can be no knowledge without
No, but-
experience, but there can be experience without
But
knowledge.
if Krishnaji could pursue what he said just now.
No, and that's what I'm keeping on.
Anubhav does not mean experience.
I really feel this. Now you are
Perception.
No, I would like to say, you hurt me. That's an experience. It becomes knowledge, stored as knowledge, when it is recorded. When it's not recorded, it's just a lot of words, rebellion. That's all. It is an experience without knowledge. I don't know if you understand. Now you translate it.
But for that, the recording process must end.
That's all I'm saying.
And for that, the whole problem of time is inherent in it.
You explain it.
He understands English quite
हाँ.
well.
He doesn't have to, he follows you. He has to.
I'm saying, sir, the moment or when there is a recording process going on, then knowledge is born. I see that it is registered as a microphone, and I recognize it next time. It's not a giraffe. It looks like one. It's not a giraffe. That's all. But if there is no registration or no recording, is a better word, then experience has no meaning there.
इसके माने वही चीज अनुभव होगा जिसकी प्रत्यभिज्ञा नहीं रहेगी।
नहीं, ऐसा है।
If we are getting, if we can
That which has no recognition.
move
देखिए,
into,
देखिए, बहुत हमारे पास इंद्रियां हैं, हमारे पास दुनिया है, जगत है, और हमारे उस जगत को ग्रहण करने के लिए हमारे पास इंद्रियां हैं। ये दो आपके बस की चीज नहीं है।
but
ये आप, अरे दुनिया है और आपके पास इंद्रिय है, इसमें आपको कुछ बनाना बिगाड़ना कुछ नहीं। अब उस विषय और उस इंद्रिय, इन दोनों का जो संयोग है, यह आपको करना है।
यही तो रिकॉर्डिंग कर रहे हैं, यही तो रिकॉर्डिंग की
वही
बात।
वही। अच्छा, फिर जब यह रिकॉर्डिंग हुई, वह नॉलेज नहीं है,
ये तो शब्द
वह रिकॉर्डिंग है, वो यांत्रिक एक प्रक्रिया,
देखिए उसमें प्रतिक्रिया है कि
एक मशीनी
नाम रूप आया कि नहीं?
नहीं आया।
नहीं, तब ये नॉलेज,
उसमें नहीं।
अंग्रेजी शब्द नॉलेज के अनुवाद नहीं है ये।
नहीं ऐसा है,
इसलिए
नहीं
this is a question of
एक्सपीरियंस,
semantics.
इसीलिए एक्सपीरियंस उसको कहते हैं, इसीलिए एक्सपीरियंस उसको कहते हैं जहाँ की कोई आप धारणा उसके साथ नहीं जोड़ सकते। यह आदमी है, यह वास्तविक बात नहीं है कि यह आदमी है, यह अवास्तविक घटना है, यह स्मरण की घटना है यह वास्तविकता है। हमारी आंख है, यह वस्तु है, यह एक घटना है, यह एक्सपीरियंस है। लेकिन यह आदमी है, कृष्ण जी यहां बैठे हैं, यह नॉलेज है, एक्सपीरियंस नहीं है।
Quite follow this.
Is he separating
I don't
fact and knowledge?
No.
What he is saying is, you say, here is a man. There is actually no man. That word man comes in due to memory. The actual seeing of the man is different from the knowledge in the form of the man.
You see, the whole point is, Panditji is using knowledge.
No, experience.
No, the word knowledge.
First
as
is
perception.
experience, then
No,
knowledge.
he is using the word experience. as
Experience,
perception. The concept-
perception.
No, he is
Perception.
using the word experience because with it gets recorded.
He says the recording is a purely
A recording is-
mechanical process. It has nothing to do with the knowledge.
हुआ इसमें यही हो
But I think we should move. We should move into this whole area of time.
Panditji, could we move to something else for a moment and come back to it a little later?
I think so.
Time is movement. Time has past, present, future. It's a movement. It's a movement as the wind among the trees. It's a movement. Right? The tree is quiet and there's a strong breeze that comes from the sea and moves the tree, moves the leaves. Keep it as a simile, sir. You understand? So, time is a movement. Thought is a movement. In space,
What
that's
is
it.
here moving process? What is thought is in thought? What is moving process?
He is asking what moving process is there in thought.
In thought.
Of course there is.
Of course there is.
It arises from the past.
वो तो पैदा होता है, मर जाता है उसमें।
देखिए ना, तो मूवमेंट हुआ ना, वो उठा
तो इसीलिए मूवमेंट क्या चीज है, इसीलिए मूवमेंट क्या चीज है। क्या हम बोल रहे हैं और वहां तक जा रहा है कोई चीज, कोई जा रहा है,
जरूर
पैर लगा करके जा रहा
जरूर
है,
जा रहा है, जरूर
वो क्या
जा
हो
रहा
रहा है? नहीं जा रहा,
देखिए आप यहाँ बैठे,
एकदम नहीं जा रहा।
नहीं, पंडित जी आप यहाँ बैठे,
हाँ।
उनका टेप रिकॉर्डर बंद हो गया, उन्होंने इशारा किया
जी,
और वो टेप रिकॉर्डर ठीक हो गया और फिर वापस उनके पास आया। आपने ये देखा तो आपके मन में विचार आया, टेप रिकॉर्डर बंद हो गया, टेप रिकॉर्डर ठीक हो गया, टेप रिकॉर्डर वापस आ गया। अब ये गति है या गति नहीं?
गति नहीं है, गति नहीं है। हर वस्तु,
कोई बात नहीं,
हर चेतना वहीं उत्पन्न होती है, वहीं नष्ट हो जाती है, कहीं चलती नहीं।
He does not admit that thought is a movement. He says there is no movement. It just arises
arises and disappears.
That is not so.
It is not so.
There is no difference.
हाँ, मूवमेंट स्मरण में मालूम होता है, जैसे कि आपने कहा कि आपने कहा और वो ले गया और किया, ये सारा ये स्मरण है। नहीं तो वहां पर वो मर गया, वो वहीं पर वो मर गया और फिर नया पैदा हो गया और वो कहीं मूव नहीं किया,
पंडित जी
कहीं मूव हुआ ही नहीं।
पंडित जी सुनिए,
इसलिए स्पेस नहीं है, इसलिए टाइम नहीं है।
नहीं पंडित जी, आपने कहा कि एक्सपीरियंस है और नॉलेज नहीं है, ये आपकी बात
जी।
मैं कहता हूँ कि अभी आपने एक्सपीरियंस देखा, वो टेप रिकॉर्डर बंद हो गया, उसको आकर के ठीक किया गया, वो वापस आया, तो सब एक्सपीरियंस है,
ये नॉलेज है।
Don't go back to knowledge.
ये नॉलेज है।
पर ये
एक्सपीरियंस तो बंद हो जाना,
हमारी बात
उत्पन्न होना, ये एक्सपीरियंस है। एक्सपीरियंस तो बस उतना ही था, लेकिन इतनी प्रोसेस हुई, ये नॉलेज।
ये टाइम मूवमेंट है।
टाइम ना,
I asked whether time was movement. I said no.
है तो टाइम नहीं, स्मरण शक्ति।
So time.
स्मरण शक्ति मूव कर रही है।
हाँ, तो स्मरण
उसमें
शक्ति
पता चलता है, उसमें पता चलता है, वस्तु में मूविंग नहीं है।
He says
वो तो
time
वहीं पैदा हुआ, वहीं मर गया।
It is only the movement of memory which makes
Then
it.
what? Which is thought? Which is thought?
It is
also-
difficult.
Just convey this. Where there is movement, there is also non-movement. Get it? Get this.
जहाँ
Now just let me finish. There is movement and at the same time non-movement. Wait, when both of them run together harmoniously, movement and non-movement, life then is something entirely different. That's all I just want to
say this again, sir. This is something I would like to.
This is possible.
No, sir. This is, if I may
This is
say,
possible.
let us explore.
कि इस समय मूवमेंट है,
This is where I have been.
यह हो सकता है।
This is what do you mean? Can we explore this movement and non-movement as a simultaneity?
Wait. First of all, let's admit life is movement. Living is movement.
Jagat.
Huh?
Jagat.
हाँ,
The word means movement.
गच्छति।
Sir, don't use. I like
No, I
Spanish.
can't.
Let's speak simple English. Life is movement. Living is movement. Right? In that movement, there is time. There is everything.
The life, not moment.
No, darling.
Moment is knowledge.
Jagat.
I am.
Jagat.
मैं वह हूँ जो कि आज 60 वर्ष का हो गया हूँ, ये मूवमेंट है। ये 60 वर्ष हम चले नहीं हैं, हम 60 वर्ष चले नहीं हैं, गति नहीं हमारी 60 वर्ष की हुई है। आज हमको मालूम हुआ है कि हम 60 वर्ष के हैं, ये स्मरण ने बताया।
I move. I begin. I get
नहीं, हम 60 वर्ष के नहीं हुए।
जगत को कहते हैं जगत चलता नहीं, जगत
के और जब 60 वर्ष 61 वर्ष
की भूमिका, ये न बौद्ध है, न चारवाकी है, न कुछ है, क्योंकि आप कहते हैं कि जड़ है, हम तो मूव ही नहीं करते।
कैसे मूव कर रहे हैं, स्मरण में कर रहे हैं,
आप कहते हैं केवल
स्मरण से कर रहे हैं, हम वस्तु में मूव नहीं कर रहे हैं।
पंडित जी, एक चीज आप एक
और ये तो ठीक है कि मूविंग नॉन मूविंग प्रोसेस एक साथ है, ये तो
इसके अर्थ क्या?
इसका अर्थ यह होगा कि एक दृष्टि से जब अनुभव होगा, एक्सपीरियंस होगा, तो नॉन मूविंग रहेगा, और जब नॉलेज होगा तो मूविंग होगा, और दोनों इतना नजदीक हैं।
यही जो
एक्सपीरियंस और नॉलेज इतने समीप हैं कि हम अलग नहीं कर पा रहे हैं, इसीलिए सारी परेशानी यहाँ पर यही है।
इसको जरा एक्सप्लोर करें
जी
जरा, तो कुछ
I would like, sir, just look at a tree. It's quiet. Wind comes along, blows it, right? There's movement. And also, when that wind stops, it's quiet. That's all I'm saying. Human life, living, is a movement, is a movement. Life is movement.
All this knowledge.
No, it's nothing to movements. I go and see
Nothing to
her.
do with knowledge. Independent of knowledge, there is a movement.
No,
Why do you mix with
Acorn
knowledge?
becomes a seed becomes a tree.
no,
The stars are
not moving, not moving, not moving.
चलना उठना बैठना
एकदम नहीं है, नहीं है, नहीं है।
आप क्या
ये तो नॉलेज है,
नहीं देखिए पंडित जी,
ये तो नॉलेज है। हम यहाँ पर मद्रास में बैठे हैं, ये किसने बताया?
नहीं सूर्य,
आप बताइए।
सूर्य पूर्व
नहीं, आप बताइए किसने बताया कि ये मद्रास ने बताया कि मैं मद्रास हूँ?
नहीं,
किसने बताया?
नहीं देखिए नॉलेज के अलावा
मैं बनारस में बैठा हूँ, आप बताइए कैसे नहीं मैं बनारस में बैठा हूँ?
पर तब तो डिस्कशन
नहीं, इसलिए कि हम पागल नहीं हैं। हम मद्रास में बैठे हैं, तो कैसे बैठे हैं इसको निश्चित करना पड़ेगा। ये बैठने से निश्चित नहीं होगा, बल्कि इस जगह को शताब्दियों से मद्रास कहा जाता है, और मैं बनारस से उतना टिकट कटाकर इतना चलकर आया हूँ, इसलिए यह मद्रास है। ये मद्रास स्टेशन पर उतरा, यहाँ पर आया, कृष्ण जी का सुन रहा हूँ, कृष्ण जी को मैं जानता हूँ इतने दिनों से, इसलिए कृष्ण जी को सुन रहा हूँ। ये लेकिन मूव नहीं किया मैंने।
ये आप कैसे कहते हैं?
वास्तव में मूव नहीं
ये
किया।
कैसे कहते हैं आप?
ये मूविंग प्रोसेस जो है स्मरण शक्ति का है।
आपकी बात सुनिए, क्योंकि आप कहते हैं कि जीवन में गति है कि नहीं, जीवन एक जड़ स्थिर अचल चीज है, केवल ज्ञान होता है।
नहीं, ये नहीं है। ये दो बात मैं कह रहा हूँ, दो बात जो कि मूविंग नॉन मूविंग साथ में है, ये बात मैं
इसका अर्थ
ये मैं
क्या
कह
है?
रहा हूँ।
नहीं पंडित जी, इसका अर्थ क्या है?
इसका अर्थ ये है कि जो व्यवहार होता है, जो धर्म बनते हैं, जो संस्कृतियां बनती हैं, जो साहित्य बनता है, दर्शन बनता है, वह नॉलेज में बनता है, एक्सपीरियंस में नहीं बनता।
और ये दूसरी धारा क्या है?
और इसीलिए कृष्ण जी का ये कहना कि उसको स्टॉप किया जा सकता है।
नहीं, आप
इसलिए कि एक्सपीरियंस से, अवधान से उसको स्टॉप किया जा सकता है, और इसलिए मूवमेंट नॉन मूवमेंट एकदम एक साथ है, एक रेखा में है।
I want to tell you something. I have known her. She lives across the river. I go and see her. Right? Which is the knowing her for the last 50 years and the movement of those 50 years, which is memory. Right? And I go walk across the bridge and go and see her. That's the whole of that is movement
This is knowledge,
based on knowledge.
your knowledge.
Yes, darling, I'm saying that.
Based on knowledge, but it's a movement.
No,
Yes, sir. Do forget your that. I mean, forget your Buddhism. As human being, I have met you 10 years ago or 15 years ago. I come to Benares and I see you. I recognize you because I met you 15 years ago. Now, all that is a movement. Coming to see you from Madras to Benares, taking a jet car, and coming to our house to see you. That is based on memory, knowledge, and my traveling to Benares. That's all. That's a movement. Simple. Keep it simple. Right? Would you agree to that? That's all. That's all. I'm not catching you. That's all I'm saying.
yeah.
So life, living
living here.
Is a movement, constant movement.
In mind.
We don't translate it more than what I am saying. Don't translate into Buddhism. As a human being, this is what is happening all the time. Action, reaction, and that action and reaction, like a tide going out and coming in. That's a movement. You can't say, this is not movement. It's a movement coming in and going out. You understand, sir? No, don't have to tell you the damn man. I'm just saying to you. Would you consider that movement? And also, I am saying, because there is movement, there is also non-movement.
This is my finger.
Wait, before you jump.
My finger is move.
Hold.
Not move. My finger is not move. This place and this place. There, my finger is not move. This finger is यहाँ पैदा हुआ, यहाँ पैदा हुआ विनष्ट हुआ, यहाँ पैदा हुआ विनष्ट हुआ, यहाँ पैदा विनष्ट हुआ. हमारी मेमोरी कह रही है कि यहाँ से वहाँ तक गति.
This is based on this concept of the kshana, that each second is complete and total in itself. And therefore, to connect them is for him a confusion. But it's
destroying your brain. Keep on repeating this. Panditji, all that I am saying is very simply, life is constant movement and action. That's all. Right?
But I would like to go into... No, if we could explore a little... No, but Achyutji, if we could take a leap. And the leap is, he has said that movement and non-movement can coexist. I would like to explore that with you.
He also made another statement. Because there is movement, there is non-movement.
Yes, because there is movement, there is also non-movement.
He doesn't say.
No, Krishnaji. So let us take the leap and hear what he has to say.
Okay. No, who?
You, sir. I would like to discuss that, sir.
I have said it. Thank God that light is out.
So what is this?
Sir, look, there is darkness and light. The tree needs both. Right?
Yeah.
A flower needs both light and darkness.
Yeah.
So, life is a movement and also life. There is, beside this movement, there is non-movement. There is also quietness, stillness, darkness in the sense not metaphorical darkness, but darkness, which is quiet, non-movement. This happening to us all the time. I think a great deal, not me, one thinks a great deal, and also there is no thinking, one's rest. Right?
But are they simultaneous?
No, they are not.
They're not simultaneous.
Therefore I say, is it possible to both of them move together? Movement and non-movement. Non-movement is death.
Death.
Right?
Death.
Movement is living. And death is non-movement. Together. And you understand so? What is the trouble? What's the trouble? Wait a minute, I'll explain.
No, I would like to.
I'll explain. I'm attached to you. And also if I'm free of attachment, I'm still with you. We both are together. What's the difference? You understand what I'm saying? I'm attached. If there is no attachment, it doesn't mean I'm like attached, love. So, freedom from attachment is there. It's normal. I don't think so. Have you got it?
But
Have you got it? No, wait. If you get it, translate. I am both living and dying at the same time.
When you bring in attachment,
Okay, no, cut it out. I'm living, moving, thinking, but also
everything comes to an end.
every day, every minute. And living, moving, and non-moving.
And
That is life.
But what is the state of the mind?
Wait, let her translate this carefully. Go on.
They will be able to translate better.
It is.
बताइए
It's.
My Hindi is inadequate.
I'll make it.
Put any words, convey.
I'll make it. After you will be
No, in English, Krishnaji has spoken. There is the movement in life of affection, of all of living. And at the same time, when everything comes to an end, it isn't continued in thought, in whatever it is, then there is no movement. Is that what you are saying?
What is the difficulty? You can translate it. Sir, I'll make it very simple. Every minute I'm living and every minute I'm dying. That's all. Not there's dying, living together.
Krishnaji, is this the same as thought arising but not being recorded? Or
Yeah, something like that.
Yes.
But don't give thought. Don't. Then we go off and what is thought and all the rest of it. I'm living. Living is a movement.
Yes.
The ordinary movement. I'm not super movement or subconscious. Just living is a movement, which is time. And also dying. Not at the end of my life, but dying.
Continue.
Put it on there. Gather, abandon. Gather, abandon.
ये टेक्नोलॉजी
If you can translate.
He has understood this.
यही ठीक
Yes, and
यही ठीक है यही ठीक है इसीलिए गति नहीं है उसको गति कह दिया जाता है लेकिन इसीलिए गति नहीं है हाँ वो ठीक है हाँ, उसे छोड़ दीजिए हाँ, छोड़ दीजिए वो ठीक है वो जीवन और मृत्यु एक साथ है यह बात एकदम ठीक है इसीलिए हम जितना कह रहे हैं वो इसीलिए कह रहे हैं
You fully accept this.
हाँ
Therefore, see what happens. Therefore, see the consequence of it. There is recording and destroying the record.
ये क्या
The recording is memory and
नाम रिकॉर्ड
abandoning that. This is simple enough. What?
How do you say it simple, sir? I would like to investigate the mind in which
Brain.
this takes place.
The brain,
In which this takes place.
the brain is recording.
Yes,
Huh?
yes.
And also, don't record.
No, but what do you mean by don't record?
Don't record.
No, I would like to. If you don't give that, if you don't penetrate that, then
I'll tell you what I mean.
Are you saying, sir, that the brain being mechanical records, but no fuel is given to it, so to speak, by the psychologically?
no, I would no. I'm asking. The brain records.
Yes.
Is there a simultaneous arising of a perception which destroys?
Yes, that's all I'm saying.
This is,
That's all. That's all.
this is, this is.
That's all. That's all. Keep it simple. So, therefore there is movement and non-movement. Right?
If the perception arises naturally, which destroys the recording, then does everything continue to be recorded? In your brain, for example, does everything continue to be recorded?
No. Leave recording for the moment because that complicates the issue. I'm living and dying at the same time. That's all.
Yes.
That's all. Keep it simple, then you get the depth. If we kind of record, we get lost. I live, I move, and also at the same time, non-move. I don't know if you understand. Suppose I own this house, and I am attached to it. Therefore, there is no ending to it. But when there is a perception, the implication of attachment, then that very perception ends attachment. Therefore, it is a dying and living at the same time. I want to understand.
Yes.
That's all. Is that possible? And so we say yes, I understand, but is that possible? Panditji, am I hard? So the implications are quite, there are tremendous implications in this. Never a moment of, gathering and letting go. It's not gathering and holding and then letting it go. I'm not
Gathering, holding.
Not holding.
No
Gathering and
no
letting it go.
holding,
That is
not
what
gathering, holding, letting go, but gathering, letting go.
That is what I'm saying.
This is the beauty of it.
Yes.
Normal है. Gathering, holding. Never. Gathering, no holding, letting.
No, sir, we are friends. Don't salute me. I'm just. Is this possible in life? Are we talking theoretically or actual?
Theoretically.
He says theoretically.
And then there's no point to it.
This is truth, my truth.
Sir, I mean, the holding is the problem, not gathering and letting go. Holding. Huh? Then I have to renounce, then I have to do something about it. But when there is gathering and letting go, it's like a tide will coming in, tide going out. Time is the holding.
But
Take it in.
time is the holding. Huh?
ठीक नहीं
Which I don't, I may be wrong, Pandit, you may be right. Let's find out. When there is gathering and letting go, there is no interval. It's constant movement. You follow? But the holding separates the two. Huh? Am I explaining so? Holding. The holding is the me. The holding, that which has been held, is the ego, the me, the person, which is time. Self is the time. And the holding is the self. Do you see what I'm saying?
Now you can.
So it's like a drum, mridangam or it is so tuned, any note can be struck on it. When the brain is so empty, but tuned.
hold it.
I'm going off to something else. I mustn't do it. Huh? What? What are you talking about?
यानी वो जब होता है बधे तो वो तो उसी समय उत्पन्न हो तो विनष्ट हो जाता है, लेकिन ये जो है
But I want this clear. I'm getting something.
हाँ अवकाश तो है, लेकिन इसको वो जो स्मरण है वो सबको एक जगह तालबद्ध संगीतबद्ध उसको कर देता है। सब वो तालबद्ध संगीतबद्ध, ये भैरवी है और ये राजश्री है और ये है और वो है, वो सब बना लेता है। वो तो वहीं पैदा हुआ वहीं मर गया, वो तो वहीं पैदा हुआ वहीं मर गया।
No, what was he saying?
It's just it's a little this thing on the drum, it's an image. Start.
Do we see, sir? Please don't accept anything I'm saying, but the holding, which is memory, etc., etc., the holding is the nature of the self.
Very good.
But when there is this constant movement, there is no self. After all, the self is the holding of memory, knowledge, experience. All that is the nature and the structure of the self. From moment to all the rest of it. But if there is no receptacle into which receptacle, vessel,
Container.
होल्डिंग प्रोसेस है वो अपने अस्तित्व के साथ संबद्ध है। वही आपका वही अस्तित्व है। तो
नहीं,
जो होल्डिंग प्रोसेस है वह अस्तित्व को अहम सही अहम को लेकर है।
हाँ,
आप वेदांत का क्यों उसमें
नहीं वेदांत
नहीं, एकदम वेदांत है वो। कोई भी हो, अस्तित्व हो, अहम हो, कोई बात नहीं है। वो होल्डिंग प्रोसेस अस्तित्व का प्रोसेस है।
हाँ अगेन
कृष्ण जी भी कह रहे हैं
हाँ, आप भी कहा।
होल्डिंग इज द सेल्फ।
हाँ,
No, he is going, he is again, you know, it is this thing again. He says that existence means holding.
Self is existence. It's the same thing.
तो क्या हर
What
क्या हो
exists is the
जाए?
self.
Why do you say that? I won't agree.
time goes by,
What else? I won't agree.
there is lumber on the sea.
मैं मर गया तो
What remains on the shore is the same. But what is moving inside?
Yeah. Nothing should, if nothing remains, there is no self.
There is no, that is, look, the other day in California there was a tremendous rainstorm. It brought out, left on the shore all timber, every kind of debris. That is the self.
No,
But when there is nothing, you fall.
that is the rest.
क्या क्या
Explain to them in California.
I can't
Please speak.
tide and all that.
उनका कहना है कि एक बादल आया
हाँ
दरिया पर और बड़ा बाढ़ के साथ
हाँ
लकड़ी और तरह तरह का कूड़ा सब किनारे पर बुलीन पर आ गया। फिर पानी चला गया, बाढ़ रुक गया। अब जो किनारे पर चीज बच गई वो सेल्फ है।
ठीक। आना जाना सेल्फ नहीं है, जो बच जाता है वही
वो
सेल्फ।
सेल्फ।
Of course, sir. That's holding. You have agreed earlier. Don't let that.
In between, he was trying to say that the nature of existence is holding, and existence and holding are similar words. I said I won't accept that
No?
because
He's conveying the self-feeling by using the word existence, and maybe not.
you see, he is trying to equate existence with holding. I am saying no. Then he said that is a Vedantic position.
I don't.
So
You
I
see,
don't-
I don't know.
I am saying that let us stick to the facts. The
Yeah.
facts are what you said, that there is a storm, that storm brings in a lot of debris, and the storm abates, the debris remain.
That's-
The debris is the self.
Sir, that's all I'm saying. In other words, it's a residue.
It's a residue. That's right. That's the word.
लेकिन ये जो
That is this in what he said of creation and simultaneous ending. There is no debris.
That's all.
But when there is an interval,
Then the debris comes in.
and if there is no tide, if it's all going in or coming out, then also it is
ये तो समझ में नहीं आता।
देखिए ज्वार भाटा
That is not, sir,
प्रक्रिया है, वो सेल्फ नहीं है।
the tide going in and water going out, water coming in, in that there is no time.
It's
but the
nature.
holding is time.
That is nature. The
What?
tide coming in and the tide coming out, going
no,
is nature.
That is existence.
Right, sir? He doesn't admit that.
Sir, I think you should stop, sir.
Sir, I'm just saying, nature doesn't think about time. It has no time. It grows, it dies. It's just life is that. But we have invented time. Arising, setting. Baby, adolescent reaching a peak and going decline. All that is time. But the tide going out, tide coming in, it's like the tree growing. They're not thinking of time. It just grows and dies. But we have invented time. That is, I'm a baby and I become a man and achieve this and die. So time, would you say, sir, time is becoming.
भाव
You must accept.
जहाँ भाव पर आए वहाँ काल आए।
Well, don't go back to Buddhism. Just an ordinary, I'm an ordinary person. I'm not learned. I see I'm being a baby, and I see a maturity, all the rest of the problems of maturity, and so on, and I'm going to die. This is natural. But when I say, well, I must become that, I must get enlightened, I must become the guru, or I must become the prime minister, that is the process of time. I don't know if it's, am I cuckoo?
No, sir.
Just
जहाँ
like,
कारण आया वहाँ काल आया।
just a minute.
And all knowledge is holding.
Of course it is. Therefore, see what happens to the brain, that's what I'm asking. It's fresh, it's all the time fresh. Therefore it never grows old. Means never degenerates. I don't know, Pandit, if you explain that.
आपने सुना ही है, लेकिन ये सुना हूँ कृष्ण जी ने अभी ने कहा because it is always being born and being destroyed, the brain never grows old.
क्या मतलब?
ये जो brain है, वो it never grows old. It is always being created. Being born.
Old, what makes the brain old is the hold. The holding is the wastage of energy. I can go on talk about it.
But so you must stop. I think it is. Even these things have said that you must stop talking.
It means you would take all the time to come to this little silly thing.